major goal that we have for our kids that I don't think they get a lot of other places is that our curriculum for the kids is around social and emotional support. And what I always say that I think is really important is that there's a lot of talk about why kids in this community would need that. But the truth is everybody needs it. Like everybody growing up, kids need to learn how to identify their emotions, how to express their emotions, how to solve conflicts peacefully, and how to cope with some of life's challenges. If you're going to learn, there's positive coping and there's negative coping. So learning what the positive coping strategies are. But these kids need it even more because this is, the highest crime, highest homicide, and highest poverty rates in the entire city is this neighborhood. And so our kids are seeing a lot of things that make it hard to stay a kid, and learning those strategies and learning how to build positive communities so they can see that their community has good people who have good things to say and do and can make a difference is important, so that they feel like they can be our goal is that our kids start to see themselves as the future leaders of the community, so that their goal isn't to get out and leave, but is to succeed and bring their gifts back to a community that actually has a lot going for it. So I think that that's the main goal when they come here. Kids say that when they come here, they get to feel like they can play and have fun because they feel safe. Whereas when they are a lot of our kids have said, like, at home, I don't have a space, I don't have a yard, I can't play on my front stoop, and I don't have a place to be that feels safe. And so I think that's the major thing for us. Also positive role models that they get to have. We have the teen leaders so that our kids see role models and leaders that look like them, that are from their neighborhood, that kind of feel like big brothers and big sisters to them, that I think is not as readily available in the rest of the neighborhood sometimes. And then the last thing is we just do a lot of fun activities that our families and our kids get to be a part of. We ran the fall fair a few weeks ago in the park where we bring the whole community together, not just our kids. So in that respect, we served 300 kids on one day. We take our kids on field trips so they get to experience things that are outside of their community. So we could take them we went to Rosemont College last week to go trick-or-treating on the campus. We take them to the Arden Theater so they can see children's theater. We take them to the zoo. So they get these outside experiences. And also they get to meet people in the program that they wouldn't have otherwise met. We have social, St. Joe's volunteers and other people who come in who get to interact with them, that they get to meet people who are different than them, meet college students when many of them don't know people who have gone to college. I could go on, but I'll leave it at that.
So would you say that all of the children that participate in your program live in impoverished neighborhoods?
Yeah, I mean most of the students, because they go to it's the neighborhood school, so most of them live within walking distance of here. So most of them are in this exact neighborhood, and all of them are Title I students, so they all get the free or reduced lunch, which means they live under the poverty line, and that's true for our teens as well.
Great. So, do you think that this issue is solely in North Philly, or do you think that many students in Philadelphia lack educational opportunity, or do you think it's a nationwide problem, or?
Yeah, I'm not the expert, but I do, especially as I've gone back to school and I've started to look into some of these issues, feel more confident speaking to the fact that it's the funding for public education is a crisis nationwide, and there's been a lot written on that. It's especially bad in Philadelphia because a lot of our the way that Pennsylvania's funding works is really unfair to Philadelphia students specifically. So from what I can at least explain, there's kind of three sources of public school funding. There's the federal funding, which is there have been a lot of bad policies across lots of presidencies that make people compete to prove that you deserve funding. But if you already don't have other sources of funding, it's hard to race to the top or all the other types of funding that they have. It's competitive, so it shouldn't be only some people get to have this. State funding, which can be progressive or regressive, which basically means the more money that your city collects, from the last is property tax. So wherever you live, the richer people are, the more money your schools get. And if people are poor, your schools don't get money. And the way that it works in Pennsylvania is the less money that an area has, the less money the state gives them. Because it's kind of why should we waste our time? You're poor anyway. you're not going to succeed. Why should we pour money? They kind of, people in Harrisburg kind of see Philadelphia as like a dump. Like, why dump your money into that? It won't make a difference. So the less you get, the less you have, the less you get, which doesn't make sense, because you would think the less you have, the more you should get. So in states like New Jersey, the less you have, the more the state gets to try to even the score. And in Pennsylvania, we have some of the worst public school funding policies in the country. And so there have been things written about the fact that major cities like Philadelphia and Chicago, New Orleans, areas like that, when the state has a bad policy and the city already has its own challenges, it really makes it nearly impossible for students in neighborhoods like ours to have a fair shot at any reasonable education.
Would you say that the same goes